So I usually don't get very nervous, but today I got a bit nervous before this, and I think it is because it's such a extremely competent persons in this room. So talking for all of you is really wow. So I think we focus a lot on processes, ways of working, on the frameworks and stuff, and I'm sometimes think that we have the risk of forgetting about some of the basic sort of aspects of the individuals that we work with. So I would like to explore that a bit more based on some years of working with development teams and in coaching some quite big organizations into transforming their way of working. My name is Björn Westerberg. My title is Lean Agile Coach, whatever that is, but that's another topic. We'll leave it for now. I started out in 1990 in the software business, doing product development. Since 2018, I've been running my own company, Westmount, Westerberg. So Lean and Agile, we got all these values and principles telling us what it is that we want to achieve and why we want to achieve that. And it doesn't talk about how. The how came in the implementation of these values and principles in frameworks. And the frameworks are very heavily based on communication, and specifically communicating in person. And we have one of the principles in the Agile Manifesto saying that we value face-to-face conversations as the most effective and efficient way to convey information. So looking then at some of these values and how we choose to implement them, we talk about transparency, openness, collaboration, innovation, etc. All these are things that we want to achieve. These are things that we know will bring some kind of value into our business. So how do we do that then? We do it with meeting in person, with a lot of spontaneous discussions, throwing ideas up in the air, having brainstorming, working together all the time, pair programming, mob programming. We have all these ceremonies or events in our frameworks where we do it, always doing it together, always doing it in person, sort of. So this is, I mean, we can picture an agile team, something like this usually when we illustrate it. It's like a beehive of activity and creativity and tossing ideas up in the air and sitting there together, collaborating and all this. So, and one of these values, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. I've started some years ago to start thinking about, when we have implemented this and when we go for the frameworks, when we try to find a way to work, are we looking at this too narrow? And is it sort of by default always the extrovert ways to communicate that we use? So then the question is, did we leave someone out in the cold when we did that? Who is it that don't like this? Or constant push into being collaborative, communicating, talking, quick ideas, responding to what someone else says without having time to think or reflect over it. And bear with me now, and sorry for being generalizing. But introverts or a techie. I mean, probably a lot of us are developers or engineers from the start, so a lot of you know what I'm talking about. But we have some of the individuals in our teams. They are actually, they like to work to solve complicated problems on their own. They like to sort of put their headphones on, and they like details. They see things from the bottom and up. And they don't thrive in this in the context where you're supposed to be very snappy and quick and fast and throwing out ideas and things. So their ideas usually comes from technology, from tech, and being inspired by things that they want to try, rather than having conversations about customer needs and problems and trying to find sort of solutions to that. So I think that sometimes they feel a bit like they're being thrown when we form these agile teams and we start working, transforming like that. It feels like we're kicking them out on stormy waters. This is not what they signed up for. This is not where they wanted to end up, sort of. They wanted some cooler water. Maybe some of you recognizes statements like this. I see some smiles and nods. And I mean, this could be a symptom of a lot of things, of course, but I take it often as a symptom of, I don't want to be here right now. I'm not making myself useful. This is not my quality. This is not my star quality. I want to be in my room to do some real work. So we often work in our teams and in our environment. We work in, this is the Cynefin decision-making model, you know about that. I mean, we are almost always in both the complicated and complex domain. And the complex domain was, for that we created agile ways of working to solve complex problems or things that we need to attack in a certain way. And it really doesn't work very well in the complicated domain. It's a different thing. And we need competencies, the types of personalities to actually have different approaches to these different types of work. And you usually say that programming is complicated. I mean, it's a set of rules and it's syntax. But creating useful software is complex because then we mix in the persons. So some of us want to do the complicated programming, and some of us, or building gearboxes for trucks. And some of us want to do usable solutions for our customers, which is in the complex domain. So we are different. Some of us thrive in these being very communicative and working together all the time, and some just want to stay in the room. They need time to think. We are different. We have to acknowledge that. So we have to some sort find that. We can't put everyone in the same house as we do now, where everyone is accepted to be these extrovert types. So when we form our teams, we usually we cross-functional teams, knowledge mapping, find the different things, hard knowledge. But we rarely do that with personalities. We look at how do we put the team together with a good mix of different personalities. So I think, and I also think that how we communicate and how we meet, that it always is in person. It could be synchronous and asynchronous. And I think remote working pushes us towards more and more asynchronous. It doesn't have to be in person all the time. And I think that line management needs to engage a lot in this. They will keep an eye on this side of the individual aspect. And we are on the sliding scale here. And I think all of us can be in different places on different days. So just 10 things introverts wish their bosses know. And I think empathy is one. It's the ability to actually put yourself in another person's shoes, to reflect how they feel about this, how they even respond to their how their how they are responding to something that is happening right now. So there's a lot of other things, but thank you for now.